Well, we have a fun night in store tonight for you. Several tributes, a few surprises, and certainly lots of fun. So we'll get started here. First, we'd like to recognize some special guests with us here tonight. UNCW Chancellor Jose Sartorelli and his wife Kathy are with us tonight. Also with us, Eddie Stewart, Vice Chancellor for University Advancement, is with us as well. Pleased to have several members of Coach Scalf's family with us tonight, including his father, Bob, his wife, Allison, daughters, Madison and Jordan. And in fact, with the entire Scalf family, please stand to be recognized here tonight. Before we proceed, I'd like to invite Coach Scalf to join me on stage as we continue this program. Of course, that chair is not for me, so. I'm sure right now he wants to be anywhere but in that chair. We do need some comfort beverage for him, his favorite, to help him get through tonight. Do we have that? This is some great service. That's what 28 years gets you. Well, Coach actually got a name tag tonight. We told him he didn't have to wear it. Obviously, he needs no introduction, but I do want to go over a couple of facts with him and some notables of his career. He's the all-time career victories leader among CA coaches with 941 wins. He won 384 conference games and 9 regular season championships. He coached the Seahawks to 6 CA tournament titles. He led the Seahawks to 7 40-win seasons. He coached 135 all-CA performers and 85 professional signees. And he was named CA Coach of the Year 6 times. Again, pretty good list of accomplishments there. Well, let's take a look back now at Coach's career through this special tribute. This premiered following his final home game at Brooks Field last May.
It was the summer of 1991, and Bobby Guthrie was stepping down as head coach of the UNCW baseball program. With an experienced background as a player and assistant coach with the Seahawks, Mark SCAF was the natural choice to take the program to the next level.
I kind of got to a point in my career where I felt like I needed to do something else and felt like that UNCW needed something else. And the thing I knew was UNCW needed Mark SCAF. But Mark SCAF is just a fantastic individual, and so that changeover to me was just an automatic. It had to happen, and I think you have certainly seen the results of it.
Mark was so excited. I mean, that is just his dream, is to be the head baseball coach. So to have it here at UNCW where he graduated, and I also graduated here, it was fabulous.
In 9 years as an assistant coach and 28 more at the top of the dugout, Coach SCAF has lifted the program to the national stage. His career accomplishments include more than 900 wins, 9 CAA regular season championships, 5 CAA tournament titles, and 9 NCAA appearances.
As coaches, Mark SCAF and I went head-to-head many times with the Seahawks and the Wolfpack and the Gamecocks, and it was always a very competitive game. His teams were always so well prepared. I love the opportunity to visit with him, and I love the competition of the game.
Anytime anybody thinks of your teams, they think of gritty players. I think players always kind of take a little bit of the way their coach goes about his business, and just a blue-collar guy and somebody that did it the right way. Worked for every single thing that it was ever given to them there at UNCW. All those wins are earned because of you and the way you've gone about your business, and because of that, the players have responded and always been the type of kids that you want to coach.
Over the last 3 decades, to no one's surprise, UNCW's teams have taken on the character of their popular head coach.
I think he inspires his players by being the man that he is. There's no doubt. I mean, the husband, the father, always on time, always loyal. He's never backed down from anything that's a challenge. And I just think his players see that. I know I did. I know we did. You know, I see it more that I'm older, but you know, you see that in a guy that's an even better person than he is a coach.
The first thing that comes to mind about UNCW teams is how hard they were to beat. Yeah, they were very, very tough. They always played hard. They always played aggressive. They're always very talented. You know, you could look at their position players. There was an unbelievable mix of power guys in the lineup and also speed guys. They had multiple ways to beat you. And it seemed like every pitcher they ran out there was a guy who was running it up there good with a good slider. They were really, really tough to beat.
Mark, thinking about your teams and what things come to my mind when I think about your teams is the incredible battles we've had, the tremendous respect I have for you, for your staff, for everything about UNCW baseball. You are UNCW baseball, and that's how I'll remember you. You know, those teams you had, the competitiveness, the fire, the passion, all the things, they resonate from you.
Coach Scalf's legacy will be one of excellence, integrity, and class, attributes that will live on as the program continues to grow and evolve.
Coach Scalf's meant so much to me as a person. You know, my relationship developed. He recruited me out of high school, and then a few years later gave me my first opportunity to coach in college baseball. And he always treated me unbelievable. He always treated me like he wanted to be treated, and a guy who treats everybody like that. A guy who has unbelievable amount of integrity and does things the right way all the time.
Coach Scalf has made an indelible mark on college baseball. He's a coach that has done it the right way for a long, long time. He's been dedicated, he's been loyal, he's been a Seahawk forever. He's impacted so many student athletes. He's the epitome of what a young coach should look for as they strive to be a Division I head coach or at a higher level.
While baseball has certainly been a key part of Coach Scalf's life, it has always taken a back seat to his faith and family, and sometimes they have even intertwined.
Always. I always have something to say, or I ask a question and I'm like, well, why didn't you do it this way? Or why didn't you put so-and-so in? Or why did you put so-and-so in? And, you know, definitely my 2 girls, they ask many questions. And Jordan actually, for years, has made up the lineup for the first game, and he never uses it, but it always comes around where he does use it. Sooner or later, he'll use it during the year.
In a program steeped with history, Coach Scalf's name will be remembered with the legendary Bill Brooks as ones that have stood the test of time and meant so much to the Seahawks and college baseball fans everywhere.
Dedicated to UNCW, his family, his faith. I mean, he's dedicated, hard worker. There's so many words to describe him, but I think dedicated, and it shows how long he's been here. Surely with a guy that has you know, over 900 wins, could be a lot of places right now, but he loves to be a Seahawk. He's always loved to be a Seahawk, and this is where he is, and I think that comes back to being dedicated to this place.
Mark, he's definitely going to miss being on the field, coaching guys. That's his love. That's what he loves to do. I think if he could coach and just coach and coach forever, it would be just his dream.
And from all of us around the country, as head coaches at the Division I level, you've set the bar high. College baseball will miss you. I love you. I love your family. And we'll forever be thankful for Mark Scalf and UNCW baseball program. Thanks, Coach.
Coach, we're just getting started. Throughout the evening, we're going to hear from a lot of individuals who have interacted with Coach Scalf during the storied career, players, coaches, scouts, and yes, even umpires. At this time, we're very pleased to have one of our all-time greats with us. He won a World Series championship ring with the Minnesota Twins in 1991 and has served as the pitching coach for the Seattle Mariners, Boston Red Sox, and the Cleveland Indians twice. He's mentored 4 Cy Young Award winners and remains one of the top pitching coaches in Major League Baseball. Let's give a warm Seahawk welcome to Carl Willis.
We need a step stool for Mark to get in that chair right there. I called Mark last night. I said, Mark, they gave me 7 minutes to speak. So in 7 minutes, I've never done that before. I don't think that I will jeopardize his legacy or his marriage. If I had a little more time, though, we'd have a good time. My first memory of Mark, my first baseball memory of Mark, our first road trip my freshman year, Mark was a senior second baseman. We went to Clemson University to open our season. And we stayed in a dorm. Was it Scott dorm maybe? I don't know the name of the dorm. But we pulled up in front of the dorm and Coach Brooks stood up on the front of the bus and said, all right, men, we're going to stay in this dorm. When you guys go out and get you something to eat and stay out of them beer halls. Don't be chasing any girls around. So we went and got something to eat, and I was in a room with several other freshmen. And sure enough, 11 o'clock, Coach Brooks and Coach Guthrie came by and checked on our room, and we were all there. And they went next door. Mark and John Talent and a few other guys were in that room, and they were there. But as the door closed and we were getting ready to go to sleep, all of a sudden I heard this noise, and I looked out the window, and there they ran. And they went across the yard and across the street, and Mark was right behind them with his short little legs chasing them. And I don't know where they went, but they weren't supposed to go there. I know that. And I remember thinking, man, I can't wait till I'm a senior. And I'm glad that Mark isn't going to get a chance to tell you what happened my senior year. He was a coach here my senior year, and an assistant coach, and later the head coach. And I remember every year I call Mark in the wintertime and say, Mark, how the Seahawks going to be this year? Well, we're going to be young. We got to get some pitching. Boys are working hard. We're going to be young. And every year, they were going to be young. And I wonder if that's why his hair is his color and my hair is my color. Because my guys aren't always that young, and they probably don't listen quite like Mark's guys listen to him. But I was thinking about it driving down, that when he would say that, he sounded a lot like Coach Brooks. And I don't know if there is a bigger compliment I could give to Mark than to say you sounded like Coach Brooks. Because Coach Brooks built this program from the ground up. And for Mark to come in and do what he's done, I mean, he's brought this this program to national prominence. You know, it's ranked in the top 50 NCAA Division I baseball programs in the country. And there's some really, really strong programs out there. Mark, you know how I love UNC Wilmington, and all of us here do. But I just want to thank you for that. It means so much to me. You, your family, you've been special friends to so many people. I'm proud and thankful to be part of that group. And the last thing I want to say, because I only have 7 minutes, just to the university, and I didn't mention this to anybody. Hopefully I'm not going to get anybody in trouble. Just a thought. So the Oakland Athletics, they play at O.Co Coliseum in Oakland. And a few years ago, they made their field, it's Rickey Henderson Field at O.Co Coliseum. I kind of like the ring of Mark SCAF diamond at Brooks Field. Think about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl. Appreciate you being here tonight, and always great to have you back on campus. Move on here, and we have two of Coach Scalf's coaching colleagues in the on-deck circle. Take a look at the video.
Well, Mark's been a terrific coach ever since he got into the profession, and his tenure at Wilmington speaks for itself. Had some great teams there, always well prepared, well coached. Really enjoyed our competition with them. It's always competitive and clean, and Mark's just a baseball guy, and was a terrific coach. His last game was here at the Bosch, and that was pretty emotional, I know, for him and really for me. I stuck my head in the press conference, just wanted to show him show him my respect, and that was hard. That was hard, kind of watching him in his career. And I know it was sad for him in a way, but I know he's looking forward to life after coaching. He's got grandchildren, lives at the beach, so part of me's a little jealous, but I know he'll have fun with his family, and he did a lot for the game. He can leave with no regrets.
Anytime I talked to all my colleagues across the country about the CAA, the first things they brought up were Wilmington baseball and Coach Scalf. So I know he's so well respected all across the country, and when it comes to the CAA, I know all the coaches in the conference looked up to you and looked to your wisdom and guidance, and you always put the CAA first, Coach, and tried to elevate the conference and put us in a better position, and I learned that firsthand in 2018 when we were making our at-large run after you guys beat us in the finals. But I know you worked behind the scenes to push for us to get a championship NCAA bid, and those are the things that people don't see about you. So I know your influences reach far across the country with college baseball and certainly with the CAA. Coach, I know our players even respect you a ton. I remember playing against you a couple years ago, and we're taking batting practice, and one of my players came up to me and asked me why I couldn't be more like the head coach of Wilmington. So I thought that was pretty cool. Needless to say, that kid never played a game for me again, but it was pretty awesome to see the respect that our players had for you as well. I'm going to miss those conversations. I'm not going to miss you running on the field and arguing every call when we play you guys, so I'm sure the games are going to be a little bit quicker. But our time together, our conversations, our sharing baseball knowledge, and just listening to you and learning from you is what I'm going to miss the most, Coach. So just on behalf of the Northeastern Baseball Program, we want to thank you for everything that you've done for college baseball, for the CAA. Congratulate you on all your success and all your championships and all your wins and everything that you've accomplished during your career. And of course, we wish you nothing but the best as you start this next chapter of your life, Coach. So congrats on everything.
Please welcome to the podium now former Seahawk assistant coach and current Liberty head coach, Scott Jackson. Scott was an assistant coach for the Seahawks from 2003 to 2007. Helped the Seahawks advance to the NCAA Regionals in 2003, 2004, and 2006.
Thanks, Mike. What an honor to be here, to come back. This place is kind of where I feel like I really found myself as a coach, and just an opportunity that Coach SCAF gave me. I probably wasn't ready for it. I was young, I was dumb, and for some reason he hired me to be the pitching coach here. Thanks, Randy. Where are you? You know, I look back on when I got here, and I was around Coach SCAF, and I was trying to figure out, okay, you know, what's it like here? And it was really, I found out really quick. He really likes to work, and likes to work a lot. And I always felt like I had to keep up with him. And I think that's, as an assistant coach, when you work for somebody that's on the go, that has a feel and an idea of every facet of the program, from recruiting to practice, to the mowers, to the drags, to the blowers, to all that stuff. Coach, he always knew how to fix them. He always knew what we needed, what this program needed, and I remember, you know, just trying my best to just live up to the standard that was very evident here. Anytime you're a good leader, those things stand out, and they did just right away as soon as I got here. I remember our first season was the first regional, 2003, and a funny moment for me was we went to LSU, got back from LSU, and the next morning we're in the office and he wanted to talk about camp. And I'm like, Coach, man, we just went to our first regional, and you're getting ready to go to Team USA, and you know we got some good things going here, and you want to talk about camp. But it made me laugh and made me realize, you know, that the season was over and it was time to move on. And Coach was so good about letting us work, letting us do our job, trusting us as assistants, and just the things that you guys have heard in those videos. It was real. The integrity, the husband, the dad. The person that is talked about is somebody that we got a chance to experience each and every day. And when you want to grow as a coach, and you want to grow as a player, and you want to reach goals, you want to be around people that have character, and they have traits and values that are rooted in their faith, that are rooted in their family. And I know there's a lot of you guys sitting here that I had a chance to coach, a lot of you guys sitting here that have played for Coach SCAF, and you're going to take a lot more with you when you leave here, because of the things that matter a lot more than baseball. And when you talk about coaching and you talk about being around young men, you want to be a better husband and a better father than you were a better ball player. And for all of us, including myself, I was married for 1 year when I got here. So I learned how to be a good husband, a good baseball husband. My wife learned how to be a good baseball wife from you. You know, that was her first time being around somebody who was at every game and so supportive, and just an incredible time for me. And the things that I'll remember most are just the example that you set, and just the things that I think about whenever I think of you. I think about how hard you worked. I think about how you earned everything that you possibly could have gotten here. And I think all of us that have been around you are so proud. I'm so proud to say I was one of Mark SCAF's assistant coaches. I'm so proud to say that, and if you could just know what the coaching community, the players, the state of North Carolina, the Southeast, if you could only know how much we look at this program with that shining light, that number 3 that will always be on this program, and the mark that you've made here. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for the way you changed my life, the way you changed my career. I'm sure there's a lot of people in this room that would echo those sentiments. Thank you, Allison, for sharing him with us for so many years. I hope he's gonna spoil you in retirement. I don't know what he's doing with his days these days. I can't imagine it. Thank you, Jordan and Madison. Thanks for sharing your daddy with us. I know it's not easy. I know it's tough being away, and we're always gone and we're always working, but you guys gave us a lot, and you've given so much to this program just by your support and, like I said, sharing him with us. So on behalf of everybody here, on behalf of the coaching community, thanks to all of you, and thank you, Coach. You're a legend.
Thank you, Scott. Great message there. Now let's move on. We have someone once simply known as Blue and a former Seahawk glove man at short. Let's take a look.
Well, on the field as an umpire, Mark was tough. You know, he was demanding. He and I never had to eject Mark in 32 years. He would always take it right to that point, but never had to eject him. And he would come out when he needed to come out. Sometimes he came out when I didn't think maybe he needed to, but he felt like he needed to, and he'd come out and we'd talk, and he would make his point and I'd make mine. And of course, mine was the one that mattered. And he didn't always agree with me, but he never ever tried to show me up or anything like that. He was very professional in the way he did it, unlike some coaches. Well, Mark and I have been friends for over 35 years, and we made a decision a few years back when I retired that we were going to start working out together after we both retired and get our old bodies in shape. You know, we're going to do that together. So we were talking back and forth, and by the time when he was going to retire, and he says, well, I'll tell you what, give me about 2 or 3 more weeks, and I'll have everything put down, and we'll start working out. I said, okay, great. Well, about 3 weeks later on a Friday, he calls me. He said, you ready to start going on Monday? I said, yeah, that sounds great. So Monday, I met him over at the field house, and when I walk in the door, he's standing there talking to Randy, and I said, okay, you ready to go? I don't know how sore I'm going to be tomorrow, but I'm going to give it a go. And Randy started laughing, and I said, what you laughing at? He said, well, he hedged his bet. He's been working out for about 3 weeks before you got here, you know, so he's competitive. But really good friend of mine, and want to wish him the best of luck in his retirement.
What are the values that I instill in my players that I learned from Coach Scalf playing for him 30 plus years ago? The first one is attention to detail. Coach Scalf was an amazing teacher. He could teach me the finer points of field and a ground ball, double play feeds and pivots, you name it. And I really embraced all those finer points, and it helped me become a better player. He also invested in us. He cared about us. He wanted to see us reach our full potential. He would hit me ground balls every day, as many as I'd want. And, you know, it never bothered him. He enjoyed making us better, me and my teammates. And because of that, we had great teams. So I try to do the same thing with my players. I try to give them everything that I can possibly give them, all of my time, and certainly that attention to detail. Thank you, Coach Scalf, for helping me be a better coach and a better person. One of the funny stories I can think of Coach is he was very sensitive to his height, which was kind of ironic that we'd pick on him because many of us were short like me as well. But it certainly bothered him whenever we talked height. So we thought of a way to like really get under his skin. We went out and we took a pair of team cleats and set it out on the infield grass, and then we took a hat and put it right on top of the cleats like that was him. And we took a zoom up shot. And I got the film developed, and sure enough, the picture looked great. And we snuck it up and put it on his bulletin board. Big mistake, because we ran for like 5 days straight afterwards. And he was very, very angry with us about that. But of course, you know, as players, we're always looking for little ways to get under his skin. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Our third speaker tonight is no stranger to Wilmington. He's been here many times. In fact, he was just here last weekend as his NC State team took on the Seahawks at Brooks Field. He's been the Wolfpack's leader since 1996 and ranks among the top 16 winningest active coaches in college baseball. Please join me in welcoming Coach Elliot Avent to the podium.
This is really a nice event. When they asked me to come down here, I really didn't realize exactly what it was, and I didn't until I walked in tonight, and I told a couple people, I went, wow, I mean, this is really, really nice. And what a fitting way for one of the classiest people in all of college baseball and all of sports to be honored tonight. Y'all really did it first class, from this hall and the people that are here, and the food was magnificent. And just to have, Jimmy told me it's like 300 people here for his retirement party. And I told Carl Willis, the only way I could get 300 people at a retirement party for me if I'd agree to retire. And then I might could get that many people, and probably a few more. But I know Debbie'd show up. Anyway, hey, but anyway, I'll tell you, it's an honor to be here tonight. Stan Johnson, that was hilarious. I'm telling you what, I tell you what, you're something else. You know that? You know, I took you to that same point you were talking about, Mark, took you to a few times, but I got a different result, just to let you know. And the story about you and him working out, we did play here last Sunday. And as some things, fate just kind of, you know how it happens, but as I walked in from the parking lot, my team was already here. It's the only time probably in all my years of coaching I never took the team bus. Well, actually, it was another time when I played you down here with a concussion. Remember, they wouldn't let me come to the game, and I wasn't allowed to come, but I got somebody to bring me in a car. And so I came to that one different, too. But I came without my team to this game, this exhibition against Wilmington. When I parked the car, first person I see is Mark Scalf. And I thought, boy, is that fitting. And, you know, through the years, we never talk about retirement. You just love to coach, and you compete, and you never think about it. But there's been times, because of our friendship and just how close we are, that he and I and Gilly and Mike Fox, we're all about the same age, and we'd always say, you know, what do you think? And so first question, I put my arm around Mark as we were walking up here, and I said, hey, what's it like? And he said, well, you know what, it's been okay. First of all, he's just so happy for Randy, and he still comes around here, and he feels at ease and comfort with what he's done with this program and where it is right now and where he knows it will continue to go. And he said, Stan Johnson, he said, we kind of made a deal, and we meet here every morning but Wednesday. And I think Wednesday you walk on the beach, don't you? You meet here like 4 days a week or 3 days a week and work out. And then Wednesday we walk on the beach and just talk. He said, Stan's really taking care of me right now. I said, well, Mark, you may not realize, but Stan's been taking care of you for a lot of years. I didn't know what it was like to come down here if you didn't see Rhett Rayner and Stan Johnson calling the game. As a matter of fact, I came down here with the best team I think I've ever had. We'd won 19 in a row, and about 5 hours, 10 innings, and a couple of Stan Johnson calls, we went home to Raleigh with a loss. So yeah, that's continuing pretty good right there. But you're like those two guys in Casablanca. You know what I'm saying? When you and Louis walk off in the sunset. But anyhow, I am so honored, and I mean this sincerely. As Scotty said, you are the class act of college baseball. I spent 8 years as an assistant in this great game around so many wonderful people, from Tony Guzzo to Coach Russ Frazier at Lewisburg Junior College to Coach Esposito to Ray Tanner to just so many wonderful people that have had an influence on my life. And then I got to be a head coach in New Mexico for 8 years and came back here for the last 23. And I've truly never seen a more class act of somebody I really love to play and love to compete against, and likewise. And as you well know, matter of fact, Ray Tanner called me a while ago. I called Ray Tanner on the way down here tonight. He's the athletic director now at South Carolina, and you saw him on the screen where he coached against Mark for so many years. And he had a big win in football today. His team beat Georgia today at Georgia, and they were struggling a little bit, so that was a big win for Ray. So I called him, and they were on the plane. I guess he called me back when I was at the table a while ago, and I said, I'm at Mark's thing. And I said, anything you'd like to say? He said, you better believe it. He said, when I was the coach of the USA team, Pan Am team in 2003, and they told me I was going to be the coach, he said, the first thing that came through my head is I'm going to call Mark Scalf and see if he'll go with me. He said, I gained such a respect for Mark Scalf, and we played against each other in Legion Ball and then so on and so on. And that's how everybody feels about you, Mark. I'm telling you, everybody feels like, and it's hard to, like, I compete too, but sometimes maybe I go over that point or something, but you never did. As a matter of fact, I played you, you're the only guy, and I told Ray tonight, because me and Ray have been together for a long time. I was his assistant one time, but so let's say I've been here 23 years and Ray was here like 9. So in 32 years of NC State baseball that I know of, NC State and Wilmington have played every year, and you're the common denominator. It's because of you, because we love to play against people that compete hard and do the game the right way, but you never cheated. You never did anything. You built this program the right way. You did it the right way with your players. You competed in the game, and then when it was over, it was over. You were an absolute pleasure to compete against, and I'm going to miss competing against you because you brought such an element to the game that makes us realize why we're all in the game. And matter of fact, you're probably the only person I know I've made everybody mad that I've ever coached against. But in 23 years of coaching against you, we never had a cross word. I know things have happened in our game sometimes, and it happened last year. I've never had a cross word with you, and I can bring that out of most people, but I couldn't bring it out of you. And that's just a great testament to who you are. It's a great testament to who you are as a person, as a leader, as a baseball coach. And I am honored to be here. And all I can tell you, my friend, is I'm going to miss you.
Thank you, Coach. Well, we've arrived at the 7th inning stretch here, and it's time to hear from a CAA coaching rival and a veteran pro scout. Let's take a look.
Well, all Coach Scalf's teams play extremely hard. They're energetic. They're very enthusiastic. There's a common, you can kind of see the camaraderie they have in the dugout. They pull for each other. You see great and positive body language. I guess the best compliment I could give the program at UNC Wilmington is this. If a coach out there has sons, like I do, I have 2 sons, and you think about programs in which you would like your son to be a part of, you think of UNC Wilmington, and that's because of the leadership of Coach Scalf. He has truly done it the right way for a long period of time. His influence on college baseball will move forward. It will be ever persistent, even though he's no longer coaching in the dugout. His influence on Wilmington's program and in college baseball will continue, and that's just because of the man he is, how consistent he's been, his attitude, his work ethic, and the way he treats his players and his coaches. And he's always going to be a coach that I look up to.
I know we go back a long way. We started in the 80s, and we met each other in the Cape. You and Allison and my wife Kate, and we double dated a couple times. We had a great time, and that's where the friendship kindled. And it has maintained that friendship all the way through. I really am going to miss not seeing you on the field, but I'm going to love seeing you off the field. We're going to have more time maybe to go have dinner and talk baseball and talk about things that we've never been able to talk about. I'm hoping that you and Allison can, when we're ready to retire, we can all double date a little bit and maybe take that trip to Italy we've been talking about every time we get together. I am not going to miss waiting for you after a game for 45 minutes just to talk. That I will not miss. But in saying that, it just tells you something about your love for your players, your passion for the game, and the respect for the game that you had. And when we go around and we see programs around the country and coaches, there would be nobody, and there is nobody like you that does it the old school way. You care about your guys, you loved them, you did a lot of things for them, for the guys that got into pro ball and the guys that didn't get into professional baseball. You ought to be very proud of yourself. You've got a great tree with a lot of assistant coaches that are having a great amount of success, and it's all because of you, and it started with you. I know you're going to miss the tractor. I know you're going to miss moving the dirt. But you know what? If we need to, I'm sure I can get Randy. Maybe we can get a bunch of guys. We'll bring over a pile of dirt over to your house, and I'm sure Allison will let you move it all over the driveway just to get your fix in. But know that we care about you. Again, I wish I could be there. Happy retirement, and good luck with everything, and we'll be in touch. And like dinner will be on us. we'll buy it. I know you'll be on that fixed income, so I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. Take care, have fun, have a great night, and again, know that I'm there in spirit, and good luck with the future. Thank you, Mark.
Hello, Coach SCAF. Hello, UNCW faithful. Matt Wright here, class of 2003. And so proud of you, Coach. So glad to be a part of tonight. And just wanted to say thank you for a job well done and for instilling just perseverance and hard work ethic, determination, and accountability of the little details. I still use those every day. You instilled that in me and in so many of us. And so I just want to say thank you for that. Also, in honor of playoff baseball, and I'm coaching now youth baseball, and I just want to say that one life lesson I've really learned from you is just exactly about preparation before every game, and even the details of learning your pitchers that you're going to face. And so I remember in 2003, we rolled into Old Dominion. And there was a Sunday game. There was a freshman pitcher that they were going to throw that Sunday. And you brought us all together, and you prepared hard for knowing who we were going to face, even though it was this no-name freshman for them. So you told us, you brought us all in ahead of time like so many times, and you said, this kid's just an average Joe pitcher. Guys, hit early, hit often, be ready for your pitch. You're prepared, and play well. Well, 3 innings into the game, we'd struck out 7 times. I had struck out twice. I saw a 96-mile-per-hour fastball, a perfect 12-6 curveball that I couldn't hit. You walked back to the dugout, or I walked back in the dugout. You were shaking your head, and you're just like, this kid's an average Joe. Well, it turns out Justin Verlander actually is one of the best pitchers to ever walk this planet, still pitching today. And for you that day, he was an average Joe pitcher. For us now, we can look back and say, pretty impressive where he came from and what he's doing today. So, Coach, I make sure to tell my youth players today and every time we face somebody that they're prepared. This kid's just an average Joe pitcher and that they should dominate. So thank you for those life lessons. Congratulations to you. Miss you. Can't wait to see your family. And congratulations again.
When Athletic Director Jimmy Bass was faced with finding the next skipper for the Seahawks, he didn't have to go far. Randy Hood has been Coach SCAF's right-hand man for the last 18 years. He was a home run choice to keep the program rolling along. It's time to hear from the new head coach of the Seahawks, Randy Hood.
I jotted a few notes down, but just speaking on Matt's comments, I think we gave Verlander 3 losses in his 3 years here, not just that one. So, just an average Joe pitcher. It's truly an honor to be here tonight. It's truly an honor to be in the position I am. This gentleman to my right, 18 years ago, gave me a great opportunity. I was at Campbell, which is my alma mater. I was there for 6 years after playing pro baseball. So being at a place that you're comfortable with and a place that you love, it's hard to leave. Coach SCAF offered me a $30,000 job at the time. It was a pay raise. Got to come to the beach. And I felt like it was probably a great thing to do at that time. 18 years later, it was the best thing to do at that time. It's been an unbelievable 18 years. If you look back, 62 years of Seahawk baseball. Program's been going for 62 years. 3 head coaches. Bill Brooks, 27 years. Bobby Guthrie here tonight, 8 years. Mark SCAF, 27 years. I get to be the 4th head coach. That's a big honor for me, big honor. 3 men right there that I look up to. I was fortunate enough to meet all 3 of them. Get to spend some time right when I got here the first few years with Coach Brooks. Again, I echo the same thing Carl said. Look at Coach Brooks, you see Coach SCAF in a lot. But not just 3 men that worry about your batting averages and your ERA and your fielding percentages, things like that. They care about the true person. And that's been one of the biggest things, just being with Coach Scalf. I've been able to take. It's been an unbelievable experience. I jotted down, you can think about a lot of things. We've talked a lot. We've said different things, but some of the things that just I wanted to kind of share tonight were just some of the moments that we've been able to share the 18 years I've been here, just some of the highlights. And, just looking back, 2002, our first year, some of you guys that are here tonight were on that team. It was my first opportunity to be here, but we started that season off 34-11, if you remember that. We get 3 weeks to go in the season. Our RPI is in the 20s, and we end up having 2 or 3 people have injuries, which happened in baseball, happened in life, and we go 2-10 the last 12 games. It ended up being, I think, if my 36 and 23 or something like that. But we were on the verge at that moment right there to kind of kick down the door to be the first team to get to a regional. And it didn't happen, but you learn from things. And that's what we've always preached. Coaches always preach. Even though you might not win everything, you can learn from things. And that season kind of kick-started this program. I really felt that. 2003, we got to experience our first NCAA regional. We did it as an at-large team. As baseball coaches, the one that are here, they know that when you earn an at-large berth, it really speaks about the volume of your season, what you did over the course of the year. Just like last season, we got hot at the back end, but when you go through a course of a year and you earn an at-large bid, it means you're a pretty daggone good team. And our first opportunity was an at-large team, and we got to go to LSU and play in one of the most historic places in college baseball at the old Alex Box. Unbelievable experience. I think everybody that experienced that, and Coach Scalf will agree, if that's your first one, that's pretty sweet. 2004, the very next season, a lot of players returning, a lot of older guys. We got to experience our first CA championship. We got to do it on Brooks Field. Pretty big time right there to get your first CA title and do it at home, get the dog pile on your home field. 2005, I'll bring this season up because it was in the midst of 2003 to 2006 where we had 4 back-to-back 40-win plus seasons. But 2005, we've talked about it before. We were 40-19. We felt like it was probably one of our best teams ever, and we ended up not finishing the back end very well. And our RPI was in the 40s. You leave it in somebody else's hand, and we didn't get a bid. But probably goes down still as one of the best teams that we feel like we've had since we've been here. 2006, I bring it up, basically another CA title here at Wilmington. But if you go back and you played on that team and remember it, we walked off 3 straight games in the CA tournament. And I think Chris Hatcher had all 3 of those hits. And the last game, we were down 7-5 going into the bottom of the 9th against VCU, Coach Keys. And we get an inning going, a rally. Chris Hatcher comes up. If everybody knows Chris caught here, decided to start switch hitting the summer of his junior year. And his last at bat here is a Seahawk at Brooks Field. He's batting left-handed, which was not his natural, and he triples into right center gap, drives in 2. We win 7-6 and walk it off. But just an unbelievable weekend right there. But I know Coach remembers that, and those are sweet moments. When you're coaching and playing, things like that are just unbelievable. 2008, 44 wins on the season, school record. Thing that stood out really outside of just having a great season is you're in the NCAA regionals. We're in an elimination game with Elon, who was in the Southern Conference at the time. We're down 11-4 in the 9th inning, and we're up to bat. And me and Coach Scalf are talking, and we're like, as coaches, you're kind of believe you still can win, but you're also looking at your bench, and you got some seniors that possibly might be their last college baseball game. So you're in that little kind of feel of whether you're going to play them or you're going to just keep trying to go. And we said, no, we're going to put those guys in. They deserve it. And all of a sudden, we roll off 11 straight runs. They wouldn't make no outs. We just kept rolling through the lineup with guys that hadn't even been in the game. and end up winning 15-11. So unbelievable experience there, that opportunity, that moment. 2018, unbelievable season, won the CA title. All our UNCW fans like it when we go play Greenville and we beat them at their park. Just to refresh some of you, we had a nice rain delay, which if you play us and we go in a rain delay, you're going to lose. Just to let some of you guys know that. Scott, Elliott, we come back ready after rain delays. It's proven. But I think we had a 4-hour rain delay. I think we were down 5-0, something like that. And we roll off 9 runs in the 5th or 6th inning, end up winning 9-6. Send Coach Godwin, you saw early, and the Greenville fans back home early at their own regional. That's pretty special. 2019, this last season, on paper, if you go back and look, we thought we had a very good team. Sometimes you play well, sometimes you don't. We struggled for about 85% of the season. Back and forth, never could get a good winning streak, never really had a long losing streak, but in baseball you try to get rolling, and we just never got rolling till the last 3 weeks of the season. And our backs were against the wall. Sometimes you want to tell your team and be honest about things, but UNCW has never in the history of the CA not been in the CA conference tournament, has not qualified for it. And with 3 weeks to go, we were looking on the outside, and we had to go face the #1 team in the league with probably the best pitching staff in the league, Elon. And our guys basically said, you know what, it's not going to be us. We're going to take care of business. And a lot of that goes back to this man right here and what he instills in them day to day. But we go up there, win the first 2, which makes you feel a lot better. And on the Sunday game, the second Sunday game, because it was a doubleheader, we went to extra innings and lost by 1. But that kind of got us kick-started. We come home, we win what we had to against James Madison. And then everybody knows what we did when we go to Harrisonburg. We kind of own Harrisonburg also. Harrisonburg's our second home. But to do that in Coach's last season, I know we didn't play as well as we'd like to in the regional, but to do that in our last season was pretty special. Special for Coach to go out, and it's just been quite an honor, just an unbelievable honor to be Coach's right-hand man, to get the opportunity that he has given me, my family. I've got to see his daughters grow up. He's got to see my daughter grow up. Pretty special. It must be this position. Okay. I'm going to leave you a little bit, and we talk all the time. Coach comes to the office. We get to see him about every day, about 9 o'clock. The first week, we had a staff meeting, and Coach kind of walked down the hall, and we're all just kind of glancing because, you know, out of all respect, we want him there and want him to be a part of things. But he sat down, and when he sat down, you kind of like, well, is he going to really get involved with things? And before it was over, he kind of started telling us what we needed to do, and we listened out of respect and didn't say anything. But it's a pleasure to still see Coach. Allison, I don't know what you're doing in the extra time. Hopefully you're keeping him busy. But we love having him out. He comes out, hangs out with us, watches practice. I know he's been out at the inter squads. You know Coach SCAF, he will break the game down to every inning by every pitch. And it's just special. And I want to kind of leave on a note as a quote, and a lot of you have heard this before, but from Jimmy Valvano. To me, there are 3 things we all should do every day. We should do this every day of our lives. Number 1 is laugh. You should laugh every day. Number 2 is think. You should spend some time in deep thought. Number 3 is you should have your emotions move to tears. It could be happiness or joy. But think about it. If you laugh, you think, and you cry, that's a full day. That's a heck of a day. You do that 7 days a week, you're going to have something special. And I can say that, I've had a great 18 years. We have laughed tonight. We have cried. I hope we all have been in deep thought. I want us to laugh a little bit more to kind of get out of how I'm feeling right now. And to do that, if everybody's okay with that, everybody want to laugh a little bit more before we get out? Okay. Well, we've got a good person here. We have a very good person here that's close to the program, and if you to know Coach, you have to either have played for him, lived with him, coached with him, or just be a good friend. And this person qualifies at least 2 of those. He played for us back in 09 and 10. He hit 32 homers that year, could really hit. He coached here in 2013 and 17 with us. And he now currently coaches at Winthrop. He's a special friend of all of ours. One of the most intelligent but most funny guys I've ever been around. If you were a player when he coached here and we went on the road and he grabbed the mic on the bus, you just kind of slid down in your seat because you were worried about what Robbie Mundy might say and do. But I've ran this by the upper management, and if it's okay with you, to end my part, I'm going to introduce Robbie Mundy to come up here and give you his best Coach SCAF stories.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I fit up here tonight with some of the other folks that have been up here, but that being said, I do have some pretty good stories.
Been told I give a pretty good impression of Mark. Can't believe they're gonna let money on a microphone.
But Randy, I feel a little bit cheated. When I came back to coach SCAF only offered me a $12,000 paying job, so feeling a little short with that. But and Elliot, I think having seen you, I think you might have crossed the line. Watching from the dugout, I've seen you do actually a spin move on an umpire to get back to the the source, but tomato. But no, in all seriousness, and I'm going to share a few stories. I'm not going to let y'all down. But I don't think it's until we leave here, whether it's as a player or a coach, or any of that, it's not until you leave that you realize the impact that Coach SCAF has, because it's very subtle. He doesn't force anything on you. He allows you to be who you are, and that's the biggest thing that I thank him for, is that he just allowed me to make mistakes, allowed me to do things right, and allowed me the freedom to learn. And being a coach now, that's probably the most difficult thing to do, is allow people to fail and allow them to learn. And so that's something that I'll be grateful for for my entire life. But with that being said, so this was actually my first year here. Coach Woodard, who was at Chapel Hill, and he's now the head coach at UNC Charlotte, was here as the pitching coach. And we had just gotten back from the night before we had played ECU. And a few of you people that are here tonight know that I'm not really a morning person, but my phone rang at about 7 a.m. and it's Coach SCAF. So I was like, well, I should probably answer this. Hello?
Robbie,
Yeah.
what you doing?
No, I just got out of bed. I just got out of the shower, Coach. What's happening?
Well, I'm just sitting here in the office going over the meal money from yesterday at Greenville. Came up $1 short.
That was my reaction. I'm kind of not saying anything, waiting on the punchline. And he didn't say anything else. So I was like, oh, he's serious. So I said, well, Coach, I handed out the 10s, Woody handed out the 1s, so
I'll give Woody a call then. It ain't coming out of my pocket.
Now, actually, when we were at Georgia State, when I was a player, we got rained out for the entire weekend, and he made us give meal money back, which we had already spent on shoes at that point. But probably my favorite Coach Scalf story, you know, because I worked a lot of camps with Coach Scalf, which I was in charge of. You know, it was a couple days into the overnight camp, and Coach Scalf was nowhere to be seen. However, you know, I was in charge, so that wasn't a problem. But we couldn't start camp without Coach Scalf. So, you know, we're all walking around looking for him, and he's nowhere to be found. So finally, I walk around, you know, back behind the shed, and there he is. He's standing there with a garbage bag in his hands. Coach, what are you doing?
God.
Got an awful look on his face. I was like, what?
Some kid. There's shit all over the bathroom.
And this goes to everybody else's story. He didn't go get anybody else. He cleaned it up. I said, what do you mean?
Well, trying to find a kid. His mom was asking for him, so I went in there. There's shit all over the walls, back of the toilet.
And so he cleans it up. And I'm like, I ain't never doing that if I'm a head coach. I'll tell you that right now. But he wasn't done. He said,
I got everything thrown in the bag. I got ready to walk out, and I thought, God, still smells terrible in here. I look over in the corner, and there's drawers over in the corner.
I'm glad you didn't call me, because I wouldn't have done it. Sure enough, he's standing there with a trash bag full. You know, and I think this might have been actually at the same camp. You know, for those of you that have worked camp, been to camp, whatever, you know, the camp itinerary has been pretty much the same for probably all of the 72 years that Coach Scalf's been here. I know Coach Jackson made the itinerary. I simply copy and paste, act like I did a great job coming up with all these brilliant, you know, drills and whatnot. And so we get out day one of 6 and 7 year old camp, which is clearly a very big deal here in Wilmington. And Coach Scalf says,
hey, you got the itineraries ready?
Yes, sir. Here they are.
He says, okay, let me see it. Okay, all right, yeah, good, okay, yep, all right, good. All right, here's what we're gonna do.
Okay. Got it. Opening day. We just you know gotten some. Jared, I think Jared's here tonight. Jared just came in. Some of Coach Scalf's family did a great job with installing some turf, some upgrades. You know, in our bullpen area, and just you know, you guys that have been around, we try to upgrade a little something, whether it be small or big, every year. But we upgraded the bullpen areas with turf. Well, opening day, Sorry, that was my wife calling. Might get in trouble for that, but opening day, we had just had, 17 inches of rain here in Wilmington, which is not a big deal, especially when you have 1 or 2 shop vacs. I got to the office and Coach Scalf said, "Hey, what you working on?" "I don't know. What do you need me to be working on?" Which is not the right answer for any of you that are wondering. "Well, we need to get out there, that bullpen. There's some standing water we need to take care of for opening day." Okay. Well, 2 hours later, we got extension cords pulled through, puddles of water that are 6 inches deep. I'm, trying to play it low key. Like, "Coach, I'm not afraid to work or anything, but I'm kind of afraid to die." So, "Coach, we're gonna have to do this every time it rains?" "Yeah, I'm tired of you and Randy bitching about everything. Just get out here and do it." Yes, sir. Attention to detail, no matter how big they are. And my last story, which is one that the scouts, no matter where we're at, I hear shouts from the stands, no matter whether it's during a game or whatever. "Rub it in the laundry." So, this is a fan favorite. This was probably my 3rd or 4th year back here coaching. So I'd not only done laundry here as a player, but also had been doing it for a couple of years as a coach. So, I know how to do laundry. But we had just gotten done with camp once again. As you can tell, I got a pretty bitter relationship with camp. But we had just gotten done with camp, and it's 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and I'm going to back out of the door to go downstairs and do our laundry as his coaching staff. And he says, "Hey," as I'm backing out the door. "Yeah." "You going to do the laundry?" And I just kind of looked down at the clothes basket. "Yeah." "Well, when you get down there," I'm like, "Oh, God. Here it comes. "If the stuff in the dryer is dry, go ahead and take it out of the dryer. That way you can take the stuff that's in the washer and put it into the dryer. That way you can take our stuff and put it into the washer." Again, I'm waiting on the punchline. And he says, "But if the stuff in the dryer ain't dry, go ahead and restart it. That way you can go ahead and let it dry. That way once it gets dry, you can take the stuff out of the washer, put it in the dryer. That way you can get our stuff into the washer." And we laugh about it, but now that I'm coaching, I get it. You better spell it out. And as a former player, with all due respect, he had to spell it out for me. But yeah, again, I have no business being up here on the stage with the other folks that have been up here tonight. But having been someone that was on that side of it, and actually I thought of it when I was here as a player. What am I taking away from this? And the first thing that came to mind was attention to detail, and I was like, I don't even know what that means. I just heard it so much. That was the first thing that came to mind. Attention to detail, Monday. Clean your shoes. But one thing that I had never experienced until I got here was the expectation to win, regardless of the situation, and that goes into life and everything else is just the expectation and never having a thought of failure crossing your mind. It's just not something that even happens. It's not something that we talked about. It was what it was. We expected to win. And I don't even know how to wrap this up without saying, like I said earlier, for me, it was one of those things that I didn't realize how impactful it was until I left. And now being from the outside looking in, there's nowhere else and no other experience that I could have gone through as a player or as a young coach that would have prepared me for everything ahead of me. And sometimes that goes beyond what you say or what you do, and it goes to what you don't say and what you don't do and what you allow us to make mistakes and learn for ourselves. And that's probably, for me, that's the toughest thing as a coach. And I have an immense amount of respect for you for that. And I appreciate everything that you did for me and allowing me to come back, and appreciate everything that you've done for this program. And it's been an absolute honor to be a part of it.
Well, you do deserve to be up here, because anybody who can make Tom Reardon laugh deserves to be up here. So, just throwing that out there. All right, where are we here now? At this point, I'd like to call on Jimmy Bass to come to the podium for some remarks.
I really would like to thank the program organizers for slotting me behind Jay Leno here tonight. And I also want to announce that Robbie's latest book and the CDs will be on sale in the lobby on the way home tonight. Joe, where's my prop? Oh, here it comes. You heard Mike Vaccaro in his introduction, certainly Coach Hood, talk about Coach Scalf's achievements as a student athlete here at UNCW, certainly as an assistant coach and as a head coach. And one of the rules here, and he's won a lot of this hardware with his championships, but he doesn't get to take any of those home. They belong to us. They belong to the program. And Coach, we have one more gift for you here, and this is the same trophy that the CAA awards for baseball championships, but down each side lists Coach Scalf's achievements, again, as a student athlete and as a head coach here at UNCW, listing his championships and his Coach of the Year awards. And so, Mark, as a final gift from your colleagues in the athletic department, please come and accept this trophy, and you can carry this one home. Allison, I don't know if you have a place for it, but I hope you'll find one. And again, thank you. And without further ado, I'm going to clear the deck, and please welcome Coach Mark Scalf to the podium.
You know, Joe told me I was going to have to speak, and my first response was, can't do it. Allison can speak. I went home and told her, and she said, no chance. I'm not going to be up here long, but I would want to say thank you to all of you. There's a number of donors in here, parents, donors, that have been on board and done anything and everything we asked or needed to help this program move forward. And I want to thank you. And I hope that you'll continue to stay involved with the program, because it's in great hands. We got a number of players you don't win games as a coach, as a head coach, and even an assistant coach, The players win games. They're the ones that do the work. They get after it every day, whether it's on the field or in the weight room or conditioning. They prepare themselves to go compete. And they're the ones that have to go pitch by pitch and compete. I sincerely appreciate what you all have done tonight for me and what was done at the end of the season for me. But it's truly not about me. It's about all of you. The relationships I've been able to build, the times through the years where a lot of you guys, a lot of you players, I'd piss you off, no doubt about it. But you guys had enough respect for me and the rest of the staff that you continued to do the things we asked you to do. And it's rewarding to us as a staff to see you come back and continue to support the next class of Seahawk baseball and the next class. And you guys show up, you come to the field, and you got your kids, and it's exciting for us to see you come back with your family, see what kind of parent and father and husband you guys have become, how successful you guys are in your chosen profession. To me, that's what this is all about. But I truly thank each and every one of you for what you've done, what you do, and what you will continue to do for Seahawk baseball. Let me throw a couple stories, and then we'll wrap it up. One on Carl. Carl was a freshman when I was a senior, as he said. And we were playing South Carolina here one night. And we were already way behind. It was about the third inning. I think it was like 10 to 11 to 1. And the first three guys that had been on the mound hadn't got too many outs. And Coach Brooks brings Carl in. Bases loaded. One out. Brings him in against Mark Farquharson, who was probably the best hitter South Carolina had. I think he already had 2 doubles in the game, driven in a couple runs. Paul comes in, faces this guy, strikes him out. And you see him chest bowed out, everything's feeling pretty good. We got 2 outs, we're going to be in good shape. Well, next thing you know, Mark Farquharson's coming back to the plate, and we hadn't got another out yet. But he handled that. He handled his whole career as if he had something to prove. The guy signed in 1984 and was in the big leagues in 2 years. The second year of professional baseball, he's in the big leagues. Unfortunately for him, he's in the big leagues with the Tigers, one of the best years they've ever had, and they get to August, and they don't have enough left-handed relievers, so they trade Carl to Cincinnati for Bill Shearer, a left-handed pitcher. Carl goes to a last-place team in Cincinnati. Tigers ended up winning the World Series, and Bill Shearer threw about 3 innings the rest of the season, like they needed him. But he worked his way up and down. He was in AAA in the big leagues for a number of years. World Series champion 1991, Minnesota Twins. But had a tough time that day against South Carolina, but it never changed his approach and how he went about his business to get where he wanted to be. And it never ground into his confidence. He knew who he was, and he knew what he was capable of doing. Stan Johnson, there were a few days I went out to see Stan. I remember one day we had a line drive hit shallow left field. Left fielder comes in, dives. I thought he caught it. It was a big play in the game. As soon as Stan calls him safe, I immediately shoot out of the dugout. I'm sprinting out toward him, and I look at our shortstop. Did he catch it? He shakes his head. I kept going. I get out there to Stan. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, they said he didn't catch it, but I'm going to stay out here for a little while, so let's go ahead and get it over with. We'll argue for a little while, and then I'll go back to the dugout." Because I'm not going back without arguing on this one. But, no, we've a lot of good times, a lot of good players, a lot of great men. I'll miss it. I'll miss the field. But I'm going to be right there. Allison says, "You going to sit up there by me?" I said, "No, there's too many people to ask too many questions." I'll find a spot where nobody's at. Been good. Stan's been here every day. We get up, we work out. My body feels better than it's felt in a long time. I go home, I got a list. I've knocked a page off of about a 6-page list so far. But it's been good. And I wish each and every one of you in here the best of a life. I wish each of you well. I wish the best for this program. Always will. I look forward to seeing this club play. I believe they've got a chance to be very, very good. I really do. Just be another class in a first-class program, moving in the right direction under great leadership. Thank you.
Hold on, Coach. We're not done yet. That was a nice try, though, trying to get off the stage. Well, again, as you know, for Coach Scalf, we're going to invite you now a tribute here. Special toast to Coach Scalf. Each of the table, find some sun drop and some cups. So if you will pop those. Where else do you get a toast of sun drop? All right, everybody, if you would raise your glasses. Coach, for all you have done for the Seahawk program, we thank you. We wish you all the best in retirement. God, how do you drink this? Whew. That's not going to keep me up all night now, is it? Well, now a special way to conclude tonight's festivities. Will Larry Honeycutt please come up to lead us in a rousing rendition of a longtime baseball favorite?
I did scorch those uniforms that summer, didn't I, Coach? All right. And by the way, a reason we won so many championships, a reason for that is the ball runners. We always spoke to Coach Mark before every game and said, "Don't worry, Coach, we'll get the right balls in the game at the right time." Not a problem. We didn't tell the other coach about that. So, but if you would please stand and join me in the singing of the national singing of the "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." I'm used to the national anthem. I'm going to change the words a little bit at the end, but you can follow the script if you need to do that. All right. 1, 2, 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back. So it's root, root, root for Mark Scalf. If he doesn't win, it's a shame. So it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Well, thank you, Coach, and thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. We'll see you back here January 17th, 2020. That's the annual UNCW Baseball First Pitch Banquet. We're trying to get Robbie Mundy back for that. We'll see if we can raise enough money tonight and do that. Have a great night, everybody.